जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी। जय गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरवरधारी। यशोदानंदन ब्रज जन रंजन। यशोदानंदन ब्रज जन रंजन। यमुना तीरा वनचारी। जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी। जय गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरवरधारी। यशोदानंदन ब्रज जन रंजन। यशोदानंदन ब्रज जन रंजन। यमुना तीरा वनचारी। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे। हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे। हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे। हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे। हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। जय कृष्ण बलराम जय कृष्ण बलराम। जय राधा श्याम सुंदर राधे। जय गौर निताय जय प्रभुपाद 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 प्रभुपाद। जय ओम विष्णुपाद परमहंस परमहंस हृषṭa डिवाइन शील ऐसी भक्तवंत स्वामी प्रभुपाद की। जय ओम विष्णुपाद परमहंस परमहंस हृषṭa डिवाइन शील भक्ति सिद्धांत सरस्वती गोस्वामी महाराज की। अनंत कोटि वैष्णव भक्तों की। नामाचार्य हृदास ठाकुर की। प्रेम से कहो जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तों की। श्री श्री राधा कृष्ण गोप गोपीनाथ श्याम राधा कृष्ण गोवर्धन की। वृंदावन मथुरा धाम की। नवदीप मायापुर धाम की। गंगा मैया की। यमुना मैया की। तुलसी देवी की। भक्ति देवी की। निताय गौ प्रेमानंदे। All glories to assembled devotee Hare Krishna. All glories to assembled devotee Hare Krishna. All glories to assembled Hare Krishna. All glories to Guru and Guru Hare Krishna. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Agyan Trimanandasya Dhanañ-jayaḥ Chachurmilitam Ena Tasmai Sri Gurme Namah. Sri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Ena Bhutale Swayam Rup Kada Mahyam Dadapi Satarantikam Vandeham Sri Guru Siyudkamalam Sri Guru Vaishnavancha श्री रूपम साग्रजातम सैगण रघुनाथम पितम तम सजीवम सावदेतम सावधूतम पर्जन सहितम कृष्ण चैतन्य देवम श्री राधा कृष्ण पादान शैगण ललिता विशाखा मेन्तांच। हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधु जगतपते गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा का नमस्तुते। तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावने श्री वृषभानुसुते प्रणमाम हरिप्रिये। वांछा कल्पतरुवस्य के पास नवचा पतितानां पावने वैष्णव नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा। Today we are reading from Bhagavad Gita as it is, chapter number 11, the universal form, text number 14. तो मेरे साथ दोहराएंगे आप। ततः सा vismaya-āviṣṭo hṛṣṭa-romā dhanañ-jayaḥ praṇamya śirasā devam kṛtāñjalir abhāṣata तथा सा vismaya-āviṣṭo hṛṣṭa-romā dhanañ-jayaḥ praṇamya śirasā devam kṛtāñjalir abhāṣata ततः सा vismaya-āviṣṭo hṛṣṭa-romā dhanañ-jayaḥ praṇamya śirasā devam kṛtāñjalir abhāṣata तथा सा vismaya-āviṣṭo hṛṣṭa-romā dhanañ-jayaḥ praṇamya śirasā devam kṛtāñjalir abhāṣata. You repeat. तथा सा vismaya-āviṣṭo hṛṣṭa-romā dhanañ-jayaḥ praṇamya śirasā devam kṛtāñjalir abhāṣata tataḥ vismaya-āviṣṭo hṛṣṭa-romā dhanañ-jayaḥ praṇamya śirasā devam kṛtāñjalir abhāṣata tataḥ vismaya-āviṣṭo hṛṣṭa-romā dhanañ-jayaḥ praṇamya śirasā devam kṛtāñjalir abhāṣata tataḥ vismaya-āviṣṭo hṛṣṭa-romā dhanañ-jayaḥ praṇamya śirasā devam kṛtāñjalir abhāṣata. Mataji's. tataḥ vismaya-āviṣṭo hṛṣṭa-romā dhanañ-jayaḥ praṇamya śirasā devam kṛtāñjalir abhāṣata tataḥ vismaya-āviṣṭo hṛṣṭa-romā dhanañ-jayaḥ praṇamya śirasā devam kṛtāñjalir abhāṣata. Now the translation and purport by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki translation. Then bewildered and astonished, his hair standing on end, Arjuna bowed his head to offer obeisances and with folded hands began to pray to the Supreme Lord. Purport. आप एक बार please repeat it once. Then bewildered and astonished, his hair standing on end, Arjuna bowed his head to offer obeisances and with folded hands began to pray to the Supreme Lord. Purport. Once the divine vision is revealed, the relationship between the Kṛṣṇa and Arjuna changes immediately. Before, Kṛṣṇa and Arjuna had a relationship based on friendship. But here, after the revelation, Arjuna is offering obeisances with great respect, and with folded hands, he is praying to Kṛṣṇa. He is praising the universal form. Thus, Arjuna's relationship becomes one of the wonder rather than friendship. Great devotees see Kṛṣṇa as the reservoir of all relationship. In the scriptures, there are 12 basic kinds of relationship mentioned, and all of them are present in Kṛṣṇa. It is said that he is the ocean of all the relationship exchanged between two living entities, between the gods or between the Supreme Lord and his devotees. Here Arjuna was inspired by the relationship of the wonder. And in that wonder, although he was very nature by sober, calm and quiet, he became ecstatic. His hair stood up and he began to offer his obeisances unto the Supreme Lord with folded hands. He was not, of course, afraid. He was affected by the wonders of the Supreme Lord. The immediate context is wonder. His natural loving friendship was overwhelmed by wonder, and thus he reacted in this way. Earlier to this, in the chapter number 9th and chapter number 12th actually, the Lord explained the most confident knowledge to Krishna. And in chapter number 10, the opulences of the Absolute. While hearing these, the universal, these opulences of the Absolute, and the most confident knowledge, the Arjuna was under illusion, and he told to the Krishna that his illusion is now over actually. And Arjuna has actually revealed this in text number 1. By my hearing the instructions you have kindly given me about these most confidential subjects, my illusion has now been dispelled. Definitely when we are under the spell of the illusion actually, when we listen about the qualities, name, forms, about the Lord Krishna actually, definitely our illusion is removed actually. And this is the main actually problem actually, bottleneck in the devotion service actually. Because we are full of illusion actually. When we are born and when we come into the contact of the three modes of material nature, we are illusioned actually. And it is very difficult actually to cross over this illusion actually. And the Lord has explained the Lord has explained actually, those who are illusioned actually, they have to surrender unto the Lord Krishna actually. When they surrender unto the Lord Krishna, then and only then they cross over to this illusion actually. That surrender means performance of the devotion service. Devotion service means to follow the instructions in the Bhagavad Gita and the instruction in the Bhagavatam actually. We have to follow. Those who are not following the instruction of the Bhagavad Gita and the Bhagavatam actually, they cannot perform the devotion service. And those who cannot perform the devotion service, they cannot cross over this material world actually. And they cannot reach, they cannot attain the Supreme Lord of Krishna actually. So here, as far as the Arjuna is concerned actually, he says that his illusion is over actually. This means that Arjuna no longer thinks of Krishna as a mere human being. But before this, showing this universal form actually, Arjuna understand he is my friend actually, relatives. So when he saw this universal form actually, his illusion was over actually, and he understood that actually he is not the friend and he is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and he go down actually, and he offer obeisances to the Lord Krishna actually. He is the source of everything. Krishna is the source of everything. Arjuna was very glad and enlightened that such a great friend of as Krishna, but now he is thinking that although he may accept Krishna as the source of everything, others may not. So it was the thinking that actually he came to the conclusion that actually the Krishna is the source of everything. The others may not think. That's why he asked to show his universal form actually. Actually, when one sees this universal form of Krishna, one becomes frightened, like Arjuna. But Krishna is so kind that after showing it, he converts himself again into the original form. Arjuna agrees to what the Krishna has several times said. Krishna is speaking to him just for his benefit, so Arjuna acknowledges that all that this is happening to him by his Arjuna grace. He is now convinced that Krishna is the cause of all causes and is present in everyone's heart as a super soul. So this is the important thing actually. We all must know actually and trust that he is the source of everything and he is in our heart actually as Paramatma. If you don't accept such things actually, though we cannot go ahead and progress in our devotion service actually. This is the basics idea to go ahead in devotion service actually. Then he requested to show his universal form. He gave the divine eyes. From that actually, the Lord Krishna saw his universal form actually. In his universal form, it consisted unlimited mouths, unlimited eyes, unlimited wonderful vision, and the forms were decorated with many celestial ornaments, wore many divine upraised weapons. He wore celestial garments, and many divine scents were smeared over his body. All was wondrous, brilliant, unlimited, all expanding actually. If hundreds and thousands of suns were to rise at once into the sky, their radiance might resemble the effulgence of the Supreme Person in that universal form. His effulgence was so brilliant, it was not resembling if the hundreds and thousands of the sun were to rise at once into the sky. So brilliant actually. So Arjuna could see the universal form of the Lord, unlimited expansions of the universe situated in one place, only one single place, no need to go anywhere. Although divided into many, many thousands. It is very much wonderful actually to see the universal form at a single place. When he saw the universal form, he was astonished. His hairs were standing on his hands actually. And something you see favorable actually, wondrous actually, definitely we feel that actually. When we are feeling that positively, and our actually hands are also, these small hairs are standing on our body actually. main question is the relationship. Arjuna was considering as a friendship with Krishna actually. The dear friend actually. They were playing together, they were sleeping together. Sometimes they were quarreling with each other actually, and this Arjuna was not knowing actually. Because of, you may say, in the ignorance actually. But as soon as he revealed his universal form actually, he come to understand that actually the Lord Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. He is the cause of all causes. He is the controller of the whole universe. Everything emanates from him actually. He bowed down actually and he began to respect Lord Krishna. This is the change actually in his attitude. And we have already studied in the 10th chapter Aham sarvasya prabhavo matta sarvam pravartate it matta bhajante mam buddha bhavam samanvita. Lord Krishna is the source of all spiritual and material worlds. Everything emanates from him. The wise who know perfectly all engages in his devotion service and worship him with all their hearts. When we do not know what is the Krishna actually, form actually, then how we can perform the devotion service actually? So when we see and trust in the association of devotees, in association of devotees means when we are listening lectures, when we are getting into conversation relating to the Lord Krishna, then what is there actually? Our mind is changes actually. According to that, and our illusion is over actually, and we start the devotion service to the Lord Krishna actually. This is the foremost requirement of devotion service actually. When we do not know who is Krishna actually, then why one will execute the devotion service? Lot of people actually start devotion service only when we say he is the all in all. He is the master of all. He is the creator of all. When we trust it, then they start immediately the devotion service. They start immediately the chanting of holy name prescribed by the Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. So this is the situation actually. Mata chitta matagal prana bodhayanta parasparam kathayansa cha mam nityam tushyanti cha ramanti cha. The thoughts of my pure devotee dwell in me. Their lips are fully devoted to my service. They derive great satisfaction and bliss from always enlightening one another and conversing about me. Just video. When we do sit together actually, two persons, either we chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, or we start conversation about the Krishna, and we enlighten one another actually. And sometimes actually what is happening, we feel very happy actually when we think about Krishna actually. This is the natural phenomenon which is prescribed here. Pure devotees, whose characteristics are mentioned here, engage themselves fully in the transcendental loving service of Lord Krishna. Their minds cannot be diverted from the lotus feet of Krishna. Their talks are solely on the transcendental subjects. The symptoms of the pure devotees are described specifically. Devotees of the Supreme Lord are 24 hours daily engaged in glorifying the qualities and pastimes of Lord Krishna. Their hearts and soul are constantly submerged in Krishna, and they take pleasure in discussing him with other devotees. This we are feeling actually. All we know actually this. When we discuss about Krishna, we feel pleasure actually. We are coming to the temple to hear about Krishna, to execute the kirtan, to participate in the kirtan, to feel pleasure actually. When we are at home and not participating, we don't feel any pleasure actually. We come here only to feel pleasure actually, to execute devotion service. We cannot spare without Krishna actually. We cannot live without Krishna. We are coming only for this purpose. The devotee's main aim is only to engage in the loving devotion service to the Krishna actually. This is our main object actually. And because of this, all the sins committed in the past, in present, are all vanished actually. And we become the pure devotees actually, pure soul. And we are fit to go to the Golok Vrindavan Dham. This is actually the main theme. About the Krishna actually, Srimad Bhagavatam is also full of such narrations and about the relationship between the Supreme Lord and his devotees. Therefore, Srimad Bhagavatam is very dear to the devotees. Definitely, Bhagavatam is very much dear because it contains regarding glorification of Lord Krishna. As stated in the Bhagavatam itself, Srimad Bhagavatam Puranam Amalam Yad Vaishnava Nama Priyam. In this narration, there is nothing about the material activities, economic development, sense gratification, or liberation, only regarding Krishna. Srimad Bhagavatam is the only narration in which the transcendental nature of the Supreme Lord and his devotees fully described. Thus, the revealed souls in the Krishna consciousness takes continual pleasure in hearing such transcendental literature, just as a young boy and a girl take pleasure in association. So much dear actually. Bhagavatam is so much attractive. Bhagavatam study please love actually. Particularly if you read actually, study the this canto first actually, and chapter 1 and 2, you will feel very much pleasure actually. Good things about the Lord Krishna actually. Tesam satatayuktanam bhajatam pritipurukam dadami buddhi yogam tam ena ma upyanti te. To those who are constantly devoted to serving me with love, I give the understanding by which they can come to me. When a person knows the goal of the life, but is addicted to the fruits of his activities. He is acting in karma yoga. When he knows that the goal is Krishna, but he takes pleasure in the mental speculation to understand the Krishna, he is acting in Jnana Yoga. When he knows the goal and seek Krishna completely in Krishna consciousness and the devotional service, he is acting in Bhakti Yoga or Buddhi Yoga, which is the complete yoga. The complete yoga is the highest perfectional stage of the life. A person may have a bona fide spiritual master and may be attached to a spiritual organization, but if he is still not intelligent enough to make progress, then Krishna from within gives him the instructions so that he may ultimately come to him without difficulty. The qualification is that a person always engage himself in Krishna consciousness with love and devotion, render all kinds of services. He should perform some sort of work for Krishna, and that work should be with love. If a devotee is not intelligent enough to make progress on the path of self-realization, but is sincere and devoted to the activities of devotional service, the Lords give him a chance to make a progress and ultimately attain to him. Tesham evam kunpartha aham ajnanyam ajamtam nasyami adhavasto jnanadipena abhāṣata. To show them special mercy, I, dwelling in their hearts, destroy with the shining lamp of knowledge the darkness born of ignorance. When the Lord Chaitanya was in Banaras promulgating the chanting of Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, thousands of people were following him. Kṛṣṇa and Saraswati, a very influential and learned scholar in Banaras at that time, decided Lord Chaitanya for being a sentimentalist. Sometimes Mayavadis philosophers criticize the devotees because they think that the most of the devotees are in the darkness of ignorance and are philosophically naive sentimentalists. Actually, that is not the fact. There are very, very learned scholars who have put forward the philosophy of devotion, but even if a devotee does not take advantage of their literature or of that spiritual master, if he is sincere in his devotional service, he is helped by the Krishna himself within the heart. So, the sincere devotees engaged in Krishna consciousness cannot be without knowledge. The only qualification that one may carry out the devotional service in full Krishna consciousness. We need not to go as a learned man, I believe. Only we have to carry out the devotional service only. That will help in achieving the goal of life only. Hare Krishna, I end here. If you have any question, you may ask. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, thank you very much.